Hi there, it's John, and welcome to the channel. Hope you're having a great day today. I certainly am. And I wasn't going to do another video today, but I thought it would be rather interesting because I was sitting in my backyard with my two cats on my back deck. A thunderstorm was about to roll into Calgary, apparently, and I started looking at what was going on in the news today. And there's lots of stuff going on. We've got Israel and Iran at each other's throats right now. Missiles are falling all over the place. You've got still a war between Russia and Ukraine. You've got the G7 going on right now. But I opened up the National Post and I saw all of these headlines. I said, what the hell is going on? You know, Poilievre said Canada is broken. He said it during the election campaign. The Liberals and their elbows up people hammered him for saying that Canada is broken, and it is broken, folks. All of these stories prove that it's an absolute freaking mess. And the final one in my hand right here is the kicker, okay? So all of these things, they pale in comparison to wars going on, but I just can't believe that this is the state of the country we live in right now. Canada is broken. But carry on, folks. Everything's just fine. We've got Mark Carney in the Liberal Party. So let's just take a look at some of the headlines in the National Post. Here we go. First story. Tasha Kiridin Carney knows he has to choose Trump over China. And of course, we know that Mark Carney, if he had his choice, he'd much rather be dealing with China, who he is good friends with, other than our biggest trading partner. But that's just a small thing. Moving on here. Now, I'm not getting into these stories deeply. I will put a link to every one of these stories in the description below, because if I was going to talk about these at any length, this video would go on forever. Chris Selly, no jail time for accessory to a killing. Is anyone okay with this? No, and there's more stories about the stupidity of our justice system in Canada just in the National Post over the last hour. This is absolutely ridiculous. Moving on here. This is a story I told you about this morning. Get in touch with your MP and tell them, and tell your Conservative MPs, do not vote in favor of Bill C-5. Mark Carney is demanding power to suspend all federal laws. What will he use it for? Watch my video from this morning for more in-depth coverage of this one. But here's a follow-up to this story. Federal government reserves right to block major projects if conditions not met. LeBlanc. So Mark Carney is looking for sweeping powers for 5 years to quickly approve natural resource and infrastructure projects, but the Liberals will have complete control over this, and there will be no oversight whatsoever. This is absolutely ridiculous. Is this actually a democratic country? Moving on. Anti-Israel activists begged their genocidal government for a rescue. So all of these Canadians go over, they want to stop the war in Gaza, and they get thrown out of Egypt, detained, and now they're screaming for Ottawa to bail them out. Well, I say, let them rot in a prison in Egypt. FA-FO. Moving on, the Globe and Mail dismisses threat from Iran to bash Israel. Now, this is Canada's newspaper of record, the Globe and Mail. Is it disingenuous to claim there's no looming nuclear weapons threat from Iran? Of course, the Globe and Mail would take the terrorist side. Moving on, Carney announces billions in funding for Ukraine at the G7 meeting. Apparently, it's $2 billion. They had a meeting with Zelensky this morning in Kananaskis at the G7. I want to know, Mr. Carney, if this is in the budget. Oh, never mind. Moving on. Masked men tried to steal vehicle from Ontario Premier Doug Ford's home. Now, I've seen videos online of Doug Ford losing his shit because of this. I think it's because of this, going on how people have a right to defend themselves if their home is being invaded or somebody's trying to take their stuff. But this is happening in Canada, the Premier's car. What is going on? Moving on. Penny Boudreau, who strangled her 12-year-old daughter, tries for early release. How is this even possible? Her 20-year life sentence for killing her only child, Carissa, is up in 2028. She should be in prison for the rest of her life. And finally, Danielle Smith did the right thing regarding the shots that everybody knows about that don't do what they're supposed to do. Safe and effective is what we're told. Health Canada won't fight Alberta's plan to charge for COVID vaccines. You want a COVID vaccine in Alberta? Pay for it. Last year, 1 million doses, I think it cost $135 million to throw out these shots last year in Alberta alone. And Danielle Smith is taking it on the chin for this. Well done, Madam Premier. And here's the kicker. I went to Walmart this morning to buy 1 single liter of cream, and it cost me $4.13. All of this stupidity going on in the news, and people are still lining up at food banks, and it's getting harder and harder every day to afford food. I know, it's just absolutely ridiculous, and all of this from the National Post within the last hour. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. I didn't mention I've got my big blue mug. Also ring the bell for notifications. And I'll see you in the next one.